Good morning, this is Linda Hawley with In the AV. I'm so happy to be here with Dr. Hodges and the AV Chiropractic Clinic, and we're going to introduce him, and well, I did just introduce him, so we're happy to hear about what he's got going on here. I've been a long time chiropractic family, so I'm so happy that you said yes to this interview. Just a second.
Yeah.
So my uncle was a chiropractor, my father-in-law's a chiropractor,
Oh, really?
so yeah, but they've all retired and gone, and so I'm excited to hear what you have going on here. So tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got started in chiropractic.
Oh, geez, yeah. Well, I was a biological science major in college back at State University of New York at Stony Brook, and I'll never forget my roommate told me, just talking about what we're gonna do, and he's like, "Well, I think I'm gonna go to chiropractic college." And I didn't even know what that was. So I'm like, "Really?" And I said, "Well, I didn't want to be a dentist. I wasn't sure if I wanted to be in medicine, and but I was always very athletic, very health conscious, nutrition, supplements, all this kind of stuff." So I went and checked it out, and I'm like, "Wow, this sounds really cool. I think I could do this." Yeah. So anyway, I'll never forget the first day I sat in class, I felt like I was in the right place. So that was in 1986, then worked in Manhattan for a short while with a doctor, and knew I didn't want to stay in the city, and I was going to go upstate New York, but my mom had a cousin out here who I had met 8 months prior to when I was starting my search to go upstate New York, and he called me out of the blue and said he needed a doctor, and here's the deal, when can you start? And I was kind of taken aback.
Oh, wow,
yeah.
Nice.
And I'm like, well, you don't know me from Adam, right? And so I'm thinking, I don't want to go to LA, if I have a city, I'm right here in New York, right? So anyways, but I flew out. I said, let me fly out for a week, see if I like it, you like me. We don't know each other really, I don't want to come 3,000 miles.
Right. So what year was this?
1986.
1986.
October 10th, 1986, never forget it. So I flew out, and his wife picked me up in LA, at LAX, and we kept driving, and found myself in Tehachapi, and I'm like, wow, this
It's
is
so
not...
beautiful there,
I
right?
said, this is a small town in the mountains. It's just 3,000 miles further than I figured.
Yeah.
3 weeks later, packed up my car and been here
Ever since. Wow, that's a great start.
Then we started the second practice in Mojave, and pretty soon I had to go there full time, and wow, that was a real blessing. Just raised my kids and worked in this little town, and then 2001 we started here in Lancaster, just to be a little more metropolitan, so to speak, and be close at home, because we eventually moved here, and so I've been here since 2001 now, so
Wow.
time flies, 34
Sure
years
does,
later.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
34 years, that's so crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
So now, and I was doing some research and looking around, and I noticed on your website, you have a new thing going on.
Yeah.
So you want to share with us a little bit about that? Did you want to,
No, that's fine.
can we go straight into that?
Yeah,
That would be great.
No problem. Just over the years as you practice, we help people. It's really, I tell people sometimes you got to pinch yourself. You get to help people with your hands, and in chiropractic, one of the beauties is they come in and you do something right there. It's not like, hey, take this medication and see me in 10 days. They come in and we can see change a lot of times right there, right after that visit, and that's what people want. Obviously everybody wants to feel better yesterday.
Right.
So, but as you do that, you realize there's the issues as we go on in years that I was looking at basically a broad scope of what's going on. I mean, healthcare is getting so expensive, and so many things, and we're not handling the root causes, and you just see these things like heart disease, cancer, strokes, diabetes, all the things, major killers, they're all not related to some lack of medication.
Right, lifestyle mostly, right?
Yeah, it's lifestyle, and what we do to ourselves, what do we say, self-care. Self-care is healthcare, it is really, I heard that from Dr. Mark Hyman. time. And I'm like, wow, that's a great, and it's really what it is. So I says, well, how do we affect this? You know, how can I be a part of the solution, not the problem? You know, just participating in healthcare, make a living, and then retire and move on. Just to me, it's like we got to make some changes. So anyway, so we've added. I keep adding things that allow us to affect those things, allow people to affect those things quicker. In other words, how can we get more done in less time, like with exercise? Everybody's concerned, I gotta spend hours and hours at the gym, we don't have time, nobody has time, right? We live on our phones and this and that, and life's crazy. So, and even I'm like that, I gotta work, you know, we have a lot to do, so I gotta fit my exercise in. So I always was like, how can I do this in less time and still be effective? Because I'm not a gym junkie. I mean, to me, it's like, what do I need to do to decrease my risk,
Right.
and live longer, better? Okay, what we call health span. So as opposed to lifespan, can we keep our health span better, longer, and then suddenly drop dead at the end?
Go in your sleep.
That would be the nice
thing,
way.
right?
Yes. So anyway, we've added things, and we call the program Age of Power. So we have exercise that we can do strength training, a minimum just once a week. We have a high-tech exercise system called a Vasper, where we can do like a stationary type bike with cooling and compression on the legs and arms, so that we actually telling your brain you're doing more exercise than you are. So it's like, yeah, so it's like you're getting 2 to 2.5 hours of exercise in 21 minutes. So if I can only wait.
What a good idea, right?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and then we combine that with what we call pulsed electromagnetic field therapy, which is basically we're pulsing an electromagnetic field through the body to increase cellular energy, because the earth is pulsing an electromagnetic field. So how can we mimic that? Because that will increase bone density, it decreases inflammation, increases circulation. It's kind of like you plug your cell phone in to recharge it, well, we're recharging you.
Mm-hmm.
So when we combine that with the strength training, which is really important, we want to maintain muscle mass, and the Vasper system, and we educate people on how to control inflammation through diet and detoxification and controlling blood sugar. Wow, we can make some long-term changes. We actually can increase health span. So that's kind of what that's my hobby, my long-term goal. We help people every day with back pain, neck pain, headaches, you know, and but what can we take it to the next level? And that's kind of what we're after now. So we use online like educational platform, you know, where we can communicate with patients and educate them, and we use in-office type exercise system where they can get everything they need to do probably in about 3 hours a week, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's with 2 hours of pulsed electromagnetic field therapy. So if you took that out, really you're getting your exercise done in 1 hour.
In an
a week.
hour, yeah. Yeah.
So that's the system. It's a work in progress. It'll continue to be a work in progress as new technology develops and stuff. So, but that's really what I'm after, because we all have, what's the thing that drives us, right? As we get older, like I have grandkids now.
I know you want to be around for that, right? You want to watch them do their thing.
Yep.
Those little miracles.
I want to do
those little miracles.
The thing is, I want to do the thing with them.
Right.
So
right.
I did with the kids, my kids.
You don't want to be like the wheelchair
No,
grandpa.
I want to take them on. I want to go skiing. I want to take them skiing. You know, and we all have our thing, and that's what I try to tell people. It's what's your why. What is the thing that drives you? I mean, just because you don't want to get up just to exercise. Why do you want to do this? There has to be a motivating factor.
Right.
For my own selfish passion is that the only thing I'd love to continue to do is like skiing. Like, I don't do it. I'm not a crazy person, but I just want to get out in the fresh air on a mountain and just glide down the hill.
Right.
And if I can keep doing that, that's kind of one of the things, my personal motivation. But then when I got my grandkids in there, now I look at them and I'm like, man, I want to do it with that guy when I'm 75 or 80 or something.
And still be on the slopes, right? Doing your
Yeah,
thing.
and be able to work and contribute.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's about really, staying out of the very expensive healthcare system, which is getting more expensive. And in fact, Medicare is going to be broke by 2026. That's only 6 years away.
Right.
So everybody's promising the moon, but they're not going to figure it out. The only way to figure it out is figure it out for yourself.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yourself.
I don't know if that. Yeah.
I am so happy we met. I'm so happy to be here again.
Good. Glad
The
you're here.
last time I was in the AV Chiropractic Health, that's one thing I always noticed is that cutting edge, state of the art, always. And so I'm so happy to be here.
Thank
Happy
you.
to share it with our viewers, and
Yeah.
best of luck. So
Thank you so much.
take care.
All right.
All right, this is Linda Hawley, Century 21 AV Chiropractic. So happy you could be with us here in the AV.